Hello there and welcome to Red Alert 3 Fire Island, going to be the map, and Tingu is going to be the green Soviets. You may have thought that it was Kiwi, but if you did, then you just simply weren't paying attention to the title of the video. And also, we do have PUPS123 going to be the allies, and I don't know who PUPS is. Player that I have not encountered yet, so I don't know if it's someone else. A couple of Smurfs that were pretty high ranked were Sued123 and Scuba Diver for PUPS123. But other than that, most of you should be familiar with Tingu. He is one of the top players in Red Alert 3 at this current time. I don't know if he's absolutely the best ever, but he is currently pretty good right now. And another thing that I wanted to mention while this game is getting underway, while these bears are charging around and this airfield does go down and lots of extra walls that are just going crazy, one thing that I did want to mention is the overlay. I don't even know if it is necessary. And look at that, one bomb micro out of PUPS, so he is no scrub because that one bomb micro is not the easiest thing to pull off, although it's not the most difficult either. There are technically things that are more difficult than microing a Vindicator. Anyways, the UI, I know not a whole lot of feedback has been received by me on it. A couple of people have said a couple of things, but it's one of those things that I'm not sure if it's actually necessary. By the way, shoutouts to Synapse, player that you may or may not be familiar with, a friend of mine who I've done a number of things with, so let's just leave that one. And what in the world, that Vindicator is magic, I guess. And it's just this one bomb micro almost every single time out of PUPS is just so awesome to watch. And look at that, even dropping 2 bombs for 2 conscripts. Such good micro. And what, Tingu, I thought this was gonna stop after a little bit, but no, he's just like 40 million conscripts. So UI, thoughts on it, you don't have to say what you think, but you know, if I don't receive any feedback, then I can't do anything. Anyways, just taking out so many conscripts. How much money has Tingu lost on this? An expansion's worth, maybe? I'm not sure. But if they get this MCV, it will so be worth it, because locked on that tier 1 and then also just with no armor facility would be super annoying. Of course, he could get up to tier 2. It would take a little while and it would be kind of annoying to do, but totally couldn't do it. Anyways, Vindicator's going to be heading out, and of course they do have that advanced aeronautics upgrade, which is pretty common to get anyways, but he did go ahead and go for that right away, which means no scans. And I forget high technology. No high technology for those upgraded bears or anything, but Peacekeeper's going to be the unit of choice, pushing out with them while Tingu is like, hey, I'm going to take out your walls, so what do you think about that? Tingu has the numbers, but he needs to actually engage or stop letting his units die. Make a choice, one or the other. A couple of units are throwing Molotov cocktails, but he needs to focus fire. He's losing a lot of conscripts just to a few Peacekeepers. Molotov cocktails not doing a whole lot. They might be able to take out 1, maybe 2 or 3 Peacekeepers. We're able to get 2 right there, but the Peacekeepers just keep on pushing forward. And it does look like some of them aren't even doing anything. They're like, hey, we'll just chill back here because we're not even needed. Molotov cocktails versus Peacekeepers. Apparently, alcohol is not the way to go because everybody knows that Molotov cocktails are full of alcohol. There's not anything else in there at all, ever. Anyways, we do have twin blades, so actually switching to fairly heavy air. He only did get 2 MiGs, which means that with the drop of another airbase like this one, he could definitely cede that air superiority to PUPS123, and going to be taking out 1 harvester, which is super annoying, while getting his own expansion up and running, which is exactly what you want to see. I don't know what was up with that conscript push at the beginning, but it did not work out very well. And oh, the MiG's just taking damage, but they do get an Apollo for their troubles. So I guess he kind of went 1-to-1 with that, and he does have another Apollo of his own at only half health. And another thing to note is that Allied air bases do in fact have those little repair drones, while Soviet ones don't. Of course, you can get the Crusher Crane for unit repairs, but that is an extra building that you have to get. Unlike the Allied buildings that, you know, basically all the production facilities, they heal all of your stuff. So if you want some free healing, then go ahead, you got it. And the Vindicators they were attacking that MiG, so actually really good micro on that MiG out of Tingu. He was completely able to not avoid destruction at all, and one bomb goes for the airfield. I feel like he should have just bombed the airfield in the first place. He wasn't going to be able to destroy it with only 3 Vindicators, but he would have done a lot more damage than he did. And actually going for the naval yard, I'm guessing this is just for anti-air because, hey, it's $1,000 cheaper than getting a war factory half price, and you can still build bullfrogs, which are almost the only good unit out of there. At least in Tier 1, of course, Dreadnought's very, very powerful once he gets that Tier 3 upgrade. And now moving out his MCV, while Pups, what did you do with your MCV? Oh, goodness, is it? Yes, it is. It's in his base. Pups, what are you doing? So first, Tingu was like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to man spam with 1,000,000 conscripts, and then it won't work. But then Pups is like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to counter-engineer rush you, and if this ore collector is on its toes, on that gas pedal, he will be able to run over this engineer if he's paying attention. No, he is not, and he is going to be able to grab this refinery, no problem, even getting a dog out so that he can take care of any sort of infantry-based threats. And now we are going to have that orbital drop. Oh, and the Apollos try to escape, but instantly get taken out by those bullfrogs, or nearly instantly, and going to be dropping down a power plant after dropping a multi-gunner turret right next to the super reactor. That has to be super annoying for Tingu. How is he going to deal with this? I have no idea, because he lost a refinery, and this ore collector isn't even doing anything. He could be running over units, and it did look like he turned right there to run over some units. He might even get an engineer, which would be absolutely great for Tingu. On the other hand, Javelin's going to be chasing away that twin blade. Not enough to kill it, but enough to chase it away for sure. And oh no, the twin blade will go down, but the bullfrog is here to do some damage. Bullfrog was able to take out one of those Vindicators, I do believe, or at least do some massive damage to that, or at least one bullfrog did get taken out, while the other Vindicators did take some damage, and going to be dropping down another multi-gunner turret. So it does look like Tingu was just going to say, hey, I'll just sell off that stuff, I'll rebuild it down here. Just kidding, that's a single reactor. But he is up to that Tier 2. He was able to get that Akula sub. I guess he got the Tier 2 technically a long, long time ago, as that super reactor is the Tier 2, basically Tier 2 upgrade for the Soviets. And the engineer is like, I will just stand here and die. I do not want to have any part of it, whereas the Soviet engineers would at least fight back a little bit. And the MCV going to be counter-pushing Tingu? Maybe. Tingu might be counter-pushing with his MCV. I'd be interesting to see these two players swap sides, and is the cryo shot going to be good enough? Is it worth wasting on that one unit? I don't know. I guess it is if you get a refinery out of it. But the Akula sub with microed properly can do a lot of damage in a pretty short amount of time with that special ability. And oh, 3 Vindicators do go down right there, which means just that one Apollo is probably still running around the map. But going to be selling off that airfield before he loses it, and the power plant will most likely go down. But the barracks will go down as well. No, not quite. And does look like the barracks will go down with this Javelin Trooper on the long range, and the attack dog's going to be showing up to do some damage. But there is 2 conscripts here to keep them at bay and take down that Javelin Trooper as well. Needs to make sure to repair that building, as that is now his foothold in PUP123's base. And look at that, sniping the dogs, but as a Peacekeeper is going to be too much. I think they will be. They were able to snipe one conscript right there, and another Peacekeeper does come out, but he needs to jump one of these Peacekeepers into there, yep, and get that shotgun multi-gunner turret up and running. Look at that, able to take out a couple of conscripts and an attack dog, no problemo. I don't know why he switched it back to that multi-gunner mode, I guess to do more damage to the building, but it didn't really work out. And now the dog, oh, dog gets frozen in fear, I guess, by that amplified roar. He was just too terrified to move. Which is he going to be calling down? Yes, the satellites, more satellites from space going to be coming down, doing some damage to the Peacekeepers and quite a bit of damage to that multi-gunner turret, while a conscript over there going to be dying, falling in his own tracks, and just giving up on life, while both of these players, I can only imagine, are pretty low on money. Yes, both of them just basically living. Or maybe not Pups. Pups actually might have more money than I thought. I guess he is still rocking 3 expansions, while Tingu, on the other hand, only holding 2, 3 as well. So both of these players actually on fairly equal economic footing, and one of the very few games on Fire Island where I have not seen anyone take those oil derricks, rather. Actually, what are they even called? Yeah, oil derricks in this game. I guess that's one of the few things that they actually kept the names the same between many of the games. Of course, Tiberium spikes aren't quite the same thing. But anyways, Apollo's getting chased around by those bullfrogs. Bullfrogs, a large part of Tingu's army, because, hey, he doesn't have a whole lot else. He is going to be canceling whatever that was, possibly a war factory, as I think that was the most likely choice, especially since it was building on land. It probably wasn't a naval yard, as that would be pretty strange to build on land. But now PUPS123 going to be up here and also setting up base over here, even selling off that command post, so he doesn't even want it, and the bears will eventually catch up to that javelin trooper and kill him. So no more javelin trooper scouting, but the dolphins are out, which means, of course, a naval yard of his own. Pups is going to be producing some more crap out of that, so we will see what in the world is going to come out of here. More dolphins, or is he going to be going for some assault carriers, assault cruisers? No, just dolphins. But stingrays are here, and can the damage be good enough? Oh, and completely dodging that special ability. Of course, the special ability from the stingrays can be so deadly to those dolphins, and these 3 dolphins should be able to clean up this stingray no problemo. But the cryo shot isn't going to be good enough to freeze the naval yard. I do believe that is the tier 2 cryo shot, so it might be good enough. No, it's not. It just was able to almost freeze it. No cryocopters to finish off the deal, and a single engineer going to be recapping. No, just kidding, because Pups was paying attention. He's like, I'll just sell it off myself, get 500 credits and a peacekeeper to kill your engineer. So that resulted in a net loss of 500 credits at least for Tingu, and he was not able to reclaim that. And then just resetting up that command hub so that he can re-expand there in just a moment's time, although that is going to be 2,000 credits, and eliminating this expansion for Tingu is going to be super nice for PUPS123. But both of these players, I don't even know what's going on in the minimap. Like, normally you see, you know, one player, they kind of split the minimap one way, and then the other player kind of takes these 4 expansions, and the minimap's kind of split down the middle vertically. But no, not this game. Tingu kind of has like the middle strip, and then over here, kind of with the north and the south, even with a conscript just chilling in Pups' base. He's like, I don't care, I'll just chill right here next to the enemy until I get run over by an ore collector. And the Dolphin's going to be super annoying, but can they deal with an Akula sub? Should be able to one-shot it. Oh, just kidding, because that Dolphin dive special ability able to jump right out of the way of that damage. And are the torpedoes going to be good enough? I guess not, because that Akula sub is like, I don't want to move. Move? Why would I move? I guess he actually can shoot through that building, huh? Didn't think he could, but apparently Akula sub's more talented than you might think. They can just shoot right through buildings, throwing down an airfield most likely just to kind of block off these javelin troopers to try and save this expansion. That's exactly what we're seeing, just buildings being thrown up because they do spawn with full HP, and these dolphins being so annoying, taking out 2 expansions, well no, just 1 expansion, and then doing damage to another expansion, nearly taking it out, at least taking out that ore collector. And now the javelin troopers are going to try and get out and then run away before all of the bears show up to kill them and then eat their lunches. Eat them for lunch. Almost reminds me of a joke that I probably won't tell because it would take way too long, although I don't know if anything will actually happen, as this game has been pretty slow, although what's been happening overall is pretty crazy considering everything that has been happening. Once again, the cryo shot going down, it is not going to be good enough to freeze either the Tesla coil or that ore refinery. And trying to get that ore refinery up and running is one of the most difficult things in this game for Tingu. He is going to lose another refinery, maybe. One more shot is able to get it. PUPS123 able to take that down, which is super annoying. That's going to be another 2,000 credits. Going down, his MCV was able to survive, and he has amassed quite an army, able to get up to that tier 2 for those hammer tanks. Once again, Super Reactor over here completely exposed, but also he was able to grab those 2 oil derricks, and Pups has not re-expanded there, but both players sitting at 3 and 4 bases. PUPS, of course, with 4 refineries and dropping down an airfield in his opponent's old starting location, as Tingu now doesn't even care where he was supposed to start. He's like, I'll just go anywhere on the map. I don't even care. I'd love to see him take this expansion just because then he really would control the middle while PUPS would control the outside. And look at that, even getting that 4th base back up and running, or I guess just keeping it alive since it never actually did get taken out. The Vindicator going to be doing a little bit of damage, but not enough, and these Apollos are just sitting, waiting to get shot up by some Bullfrogs, and oh, even able to chase that Vindicator down, not able to take it out, and it does look like the... Oh, that ore collector almost being a hero ore collector, and while Tingu is not capping that building, he is still being super annoying with it, and the hammer tank is here, which means, assuming that PUPS is paying attention, he shouldn't lose anything, but Tingu could definitely do some damage with that hammer tank. And was it good enough? No, it was not. The engineer got taken out as well as the Bullfrog, and now the two players both turn their attention down to this corner while they had paused to micro up here and do their stuff up here. And oh, he was able to grab that, so Tingu actually able to take that expansion away from PUPS, although he can't really mine there, so it doesn't matter too much. Going to be getting another harvester out, which he has spent like what? Almost 3,000 credits on harvester. Should just sell off that ore refinery, get a little bit of cash for it, at least get part of his engineer's cost back, as those the refineries only give you 500 cash back, even if they're full HP is what I wanted to say. But Javelin Troopers getting run over by that hammer tank, which is what I was talking about earlier about the micro out of PUPS. If it was good enough, he would have been able to micro those Javelin Troopers around, or actually no, because hammer tanks move faster. He would have been able to pull the APC, or the ACV Riptide off of the land and into the water. That's what I was trying to say. And Guardian Tank versus Hammer Tank is what we're largely going to be seeing here. Not something you see very often, but freezing a sentry gun as well as a Hammer Tank and a couple of conscripts going to be keeping them out of the fight and allowing PUPS to decidedly to win that battle and take that small victory. He has not won the game. Tingu is not out of it yet, and he will be able to put up a fight for the rest of this game, but the War Factory will go down if he decides to attack, and although it might go down anyways, no! Somehow, PUPS is like, I just don't want to kill anything this game. I don't know why. I just, kind of don't want to run over anything with my tanks or do anything like that. He had a distinct advantage that he really could have pushed forward with, but now Guardian Tanks and Hammer Tanks doing a little bit of a dance, trying to do the dance of who can run over the infantry first, but a couple of Terror Drones getting inside of these tanks could do massive damage and then switch over to the other tanks. One of the tanks will go down right there, and the Terror Drone out of the one tank wasn't good enough, and the Tesla Trooper not good enough either, but the Peacekeeper's definitely good enough to do quite a bit of damage to the infantry out of Tingu. And Tingu, what is he going to be able to do to counter this? He's going to go for capping more buildings, so he's like, hey, you can kill my stuff, but I don't even care. I'll just take all of your buildings over and use them for my own purposes. And oh, that Terror Drone being the hero of this battle. And then the Bears actually able to get the Peacekeeper and completely clean up this attack. I don't even know how Tingu did that. He just worked some sort of voodoo Terror Drone magic. And this one Akula sub, that heroic Akula sub, surviving half the game. And oh, he grabs another refinery out of PUPS's control, I guess, and Athena cannons are now out, but you can't really send a single Athena cannon up to the front lines by herself like that. That is just bad mojo all day, and the Tesla Trooper does get sniped, but the Terror Drone, it might be better just to hop on in there, as Athena cannons don't have very much armor and they don't move very quickly, so it likely will not make it back to that armor facility. However, that Terror Drone jumping inside of that second Athena cannon, a bit of a mistake. However, it probably was set on that attack mode because that Athena cannon able to get right back to that War Factory, no problemo. And this one Flak Trooper going to be just taking out those Apollos by himself. He doesn't even care, needs to sell off that refinery. He won't be able to mine there anytime soon unless he cleans out PUPS from his original starting location. Tingu, what in the world is he going to do? He did lose a War Factory and was not able to rebuild it. So he is, I don't know if he's on the ropes quite yet, but he is definitely against some pressure, even as MCV on the move. And a single Akula sub not going to be enough to defend against the Athena cannon, unlike the subs in, I believe, Red Alert 1, I think it was Red Alert 1, the ones that could surface and then fire on land. Those were the greatest things, especially when you got a huge group of them, and they made some terrific sound whenever they would fire, and you got this huge group of them all together. And that Athena cannon good enough to take out the expansion for Tingu, but Tingu, will he have enough man spam power to take out this refinery? And oh, is the cryo shot going to be good enough? Freezing about half of the infantry that were there, so that is going to be not good for Tingu if this Peacekeeper gets out of here and is able to get off some shots like he would like to. But no, the Peacekeeper is going to be focusing down the conscripts, the cryo shot wearing off right there, and the other conscripts joining back in the battle. Of course, the bears can't really attack anything, as buildings are difficult to chew, and believe me, they have tried, because that was part of the training process. They were like, hey, we're going to use bears, we need to make sure that they can attack buildings. But oh, getting the Peacekeeper into that multi-gunner turret, going to make it super effective versus infantry, as you see the conscripts just fall one after another. But just kidding, because Molotov cocktails, they can actually eject infantry from those multi-gunner turrets, and the ore collector is like, hey, you killed my home, so I'm just going to run you all over, or actually run over as many of you as I can, which was, I think, 1. And more satellites going to be coming down. Is it still Tier 2? It should be Tier 3 at this point. And I'm not sure why he's bombarding his own building. Tingu, am I colorblind? Is that not green? I thought that was green. Maybe it's not. So Tingu's like, I don't even like Allied buildings, even if I own them, and I could totally sell them off for 500 credits because it was at perfect HP. And Tingu's like, I'm also not liking Allied seaports, so I'm going to take that out because, hey, you took out my expansion, even though it was with an Athena cannon, not those Dolphins. Dolphins being super annoying, and resetting up that expansion for only 4,250 minerals. And the Athena cannon now fully heroic, and then just shining her laser over here just because she's cool and she can do that. And setting up another expansion. So Tingu, this game being the master of just moving, he's like the mobile master, while PUPS123 is kind of taking the top, taking the bottom, and he's just been chilling out this whole game, doing massive amounts of damage to Tingu. Honestly, I'm not even sure how Tingu is still in this game, as he has been evicted from so many houses, and he hasn't even sold off most of the buildings, so he doesn't even get that cash back. That Mirage tank, where did you go? What plant are you this time? Are you this tree? You were that tree. That one tree that was out of place. Once again, allies being aided by the trees. Oh, and the Apollos flying ultimately to their doom because they weren't paying attention at all. They were just following orders from PUPS. And still, Tingu has no idea that he even has that building, which is, of course, why he called down satellites. I wonder if he was wondering why he had vision there. He's like, why do I have vision here? Why do I have vision of my enemy's refinery? Although, I guess by not selling it off, he has totally blocked that, although not really, because maybe PUPS just doesn't realize that that is Tingu's building, but able to take out that Hero Athena cannon? Was he able to take out the Hero Athena cannon? Yes, he was, and now the Twin Blade's going to be getting the Mirage tanks. Why aren't they recloaking? Why were they not cloaked there? That was weird. If you put them on that hold fire stance, they will auto-cloak whenever they're not doing anything, even if they're getting attacked, I do believe. Apparently they don't re-cloak when they get attacked, and all of those flak troopers are they just went dark there, or, you know, Y2K happening on them. They're just not using any electricity because they don't like it, which was what Y2K was about. It wasn't about computer code crashing or anything like that. It was about actually lights going out and electricity. Magic that flows through the wires of your house. But both of the oil derricks getting taken out quite a while ago. The Athena cannons doing that for PUPS123. And oh, the bear growl maw attack thing. That bear growl was good enough, but the dogs able to come out of it, as the dogs were able to take down quite a few of those units out of Tingu before getting taken out by the Twin Blades and re-expanding up here. Did he actually ever lose that the last time? I don't even remember, because that expansion has been taken and retaken by Tingu a number of different times, and the multi-gunner turret isn't going to be good enough. Not enough Twin Blades there to contest that. You need quite a few Twin Blades to actually contest those base defenses. Taking out a couple of units here and there, a couple of IFVs, and the Apollos are here, and there's 3, which gives definite area superiority to Tingu, and Tingu is not going to be ceding it because he's got bullfrogs, so not quite definite air superiority. But Tingu is a force to be reckoned with, or at least his bullfrogs are. And it does look like 3 Apollos and 1 Vindicator, as well as a Cryocopter, are going to be the order of the day, and another MiG. Not quite an Apollo out of this Soviet player, but a MiG instead. And the Twin Blade's going to be pulling back from that multi-gunner turret while the Apollos show up to do some damage. And the MiG and the Apollos just turn around, not going to fight each other, but the Bullfrogs are here to keep this area safe from the Apollos. They are going to get some free shots off on those Apollos, get 2 and 3 free Apollo kills, while over here Cryocopter Vindicator combo was good enough to take out that ore collector and even do a little bit of damage to that ore refinery. And this multi-gunner turret is flaming. There's so many flaming buildings over here from that satellite drop that could have been sold off like this. Command hub not doing a whole lot. You already got build radius there, pups, as well as that ore collector that I keep mentioning for Tingu. I don't know, maybe I'm just colorblind. Tingu just wondering why he constantly has vision. And I'm really curious as to why Pups hasn't simply eliminated that. He's got 2 multi-gunner turrets that are in range that could have eliminated that, and then he could re-expand. There's $13,000 there in gold, which I wish I had an ore mine in my backyard. Just be like a whole bunch of gold that I could just, you know, grab and just sell. That'd be awesome, because that looks like fairly well refined ore. Gold, I am not sure though, because I know really basically nothing about refining any sort of metals, which makes me an expert on the topic. I did get a degree from the internet, so that makes me an expert on basically everything. And just now taking that out, and then he's like, hey, I guess I could kind of take down all of that stuff that was completely just blocking everything. And Tingu's like, hey, what building lost? What are you even talking about, Eva? I didn't have a building there. Tingu, I really hope that he sees this replay just so that he knows that he actually did have that building and he didn't do anything with it. Although he did kind of block that expansion for Pups for a long time. Pups eventually figuring out that yes, he can attack buildings. That is a viable strategy in the Command & Conquer universe. And the dog, oh so good, going to be coming right out of the barracks and able to get off a shout and lock down even a Tesla trooper, which you'd think a giant armored suit would give you enough protection against a dog barking, but you would be wrong. And Athena Cannon getting taken out almost instantly, which is so annoying. And the cryo shot, is it going to be good enough? Is the micro going to be good enough? Is the real question. Yes, and I don't know what's up with that reactor. Did it already die, or is that animation just kind of broken? I'm not even sure. And going to be selling everything off. Did he get the capture? No, he did not. That engineer, I saw it disappear, and I was like, what the heck happened? But it is going to be going to recap, I'm guessing, that refinery, since he's already killing the power plant. Yes, right there, the refinery, oh, does not get capped, but the Peacekeeper does get taken out. And yeah, what is up with this reactor? It's like it was partially done building, but it's apparently not building at all. And Tingu, can you take this game? I don't even know what Pups has been doing for the last, like, 2 minutes. Has he even been building anything? I don't know. Does he have any money? No, he doesn't? Question mark. He did just sell off a bunch of stuff, so we should have some money. Could sell off these wall segments, will get him a teeny tiny bit of extra cash, and this command hub is not doing a whole lot unless he really intends to expand there. I'm guessing he's going to be throwing down a refinery right here, right here, right here. Does he really not have any money to throw down a refinery or something else that he might be building? I can't imagine that he would be building too much else than a refinery, because he really needs some money right now. And the Vindicator is not going to be good enough, despite the fact that it is heroic, to take out that ore collector. And he's building a base defense, but he doesn't like refineries. Or maybe he really likes refineries and he just wants to build one over here. I guess I was wrong. That command hub was not a mistake. But the Twin Blade's going to almost immediately take out this, I almost said ore collector, but I mean more importantly is the expansion overall, and not just the ore collector by itself. Ore collectors, of course, being very selfish and just sell off that refinery, unless Tingu is like, I don't even want to attack it. I'll attack my own refineries, but not someone else's. That's just not nice. Tingu deciding to prove me wrong and attack. What in the world, Tingu? Did you really take this observation post? That is possibly the first time I have ever seen someone take that observation post, and we do have an almost dead bullfrog, but it's okay because half of Tingu's forces are just either veteran or heroic status, some of them even that epic middle ground status. And if he actually gets that ore collector out of there, that would be such a huge mistake. I don't know why he didn't place that refinery down there. Like, he could have sold this off. There's a little bit more money here, but I feel like that didn't actually affect his decision, just because this has that multi-gunner turret right there, and then the Apollo's dock right there, which actually all of the aircraft have been taken out, so 4 MiGs are now here for depleted, but for Tingu, instead, depleted is going to be the status of that ore refinery or collector or node, which means 75 credits per trip, and it is heavily damaged. That ore collector is moving so slow because he can't afford to move any faster. If you move any faster than excruciatingly slow, your vehicle just falls apart. And oh, even able to take the power down. This could be it for Pups because he has nothing. And not even a refinery isn't going to go down right now. I don't even know. And the 2 heroic twin blades, nothing to stop this out of. He canceled whatever that was. I'm guessing that was a refinery. He canceled those buildings. Looks like he's probably going for a power plant, his last hope in his time of need, taking out the ore collector as well, and the MiGs are here just in case. And going down for a power plant, I'm guessing to repower those 2 IF or multi-gunner turrets, but he moves his MCV actually further away. So the one thing that Tingu is attacking, you're going to move further away from your defense, which is something that I don't quite understand. It does look like he's going to be taking a hint from me because, you know, I'm the expert here, not someone who's playing a pretty good game versus Tingu. And he's going to be moving his MCV closer, but he really should have put down that power plant over there. Although, really, was there any safe location for that power plant? And this has got to be it for Pups because he has 1 Peacekeeper, and that is probably going to get taken out by this army. But oh, the micro and the paying attention out of Tingu going to be good enough to evade that single precision bomber, and the power plant goes down once again, almost exactly where I suggested it. So truly listening to me, because, you know, me and Pups are like, you know, best buds. We are going to be, you know, talking about this game, and I totally go back in time and give him information, as we have already discussed. Going to be calling in a couple of support powers, Badger Bomber possibly, but the sell-off, the fire sale has happening. Yes, that 2 Badger Bombers going to be dropping those toxins, and here comes that satellite right there. Oh, we didn't even get to see the explosion for the game-winning move, but good game to Tingu, playing from behind. I feel like Tingu was playing from behind for at least half the game. He got kicked out of his base, and Pups decisively took his base and had at least an economic advantage for part of that game. Let's take a quick look at the resources graph. Yes, it does in fact support what I just said. But Pups playing a pretty good game. I do not know what happened at the end there. It's like he just ran out of money, and I'm not sure. A couple of those engagements weren't the best for Pups. He just, you know, kind of hung back, took way more damage than he should have. So not the best level play out of either of these players. I think there were mistakes on both sides, but still quite a good game, and definitely not a horrible game by any means. I hope you enjoyed it, although it was 40 minutes long or so. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Sybert, signing out.